All right, howdy folks. We're going to be doing a demo here on Gothic lettering. So the industry, they have a standardized method of making numbers and letters. So, if you're in China or you're in Germany or you're in Corona or you're in New York, they want the letters to all look the same. So there's no confusion. There's no, I thought that was a G, but it's actually an 8. They can't have mistakes like that on drawings. So they've standardized it pretty much across the world. So everybody does it the same way. So this particular one is called single stroke Gothic lettering, and it's the industry standard. So some of this is going to be common sense, and some of it's going to be you're going to have to change your ways a little bit. Your kindergarten teachers taught you how to make letters, and now I'm going to tell you to do them a little differently. And I'm just going to go through and just do these. So you're going to have to print this one out, and then just basically do the letters the way I am. So first off, I'm going to do this in a red pen so you can see it a little bit better on the camera here because I've got this pretty dark. So first off, when you make your eyes, I'm not going to do all of these. I'm just going to do the ones that are kind of common mistakes here. I'm just going to zoom in just a little bit here. Okay, so when you do eyes, I'm going to go ahead and do an eye right in here. It's eyes, just straight. What they don't want is they don't want an eye to go like this. So no caps on the eyes. So just straight up and down. Okay, F's pretty straightforward. M's, you want to do an M straight with a big V going all the way down. What you don't want to do is you don't want to make an M that looks like this. Now, when you do yours, you're going to do two proper ones. You're going to do one, and I'm just doing the bad ones over here so you can see them. So not like that, and also not like this. Okay, so just the way they are here. X is pretty easy. Q is pretty easy. On U's, no hook. So when you do a U, it's just going to be straight. It goes into the curve and goes straight. Don't do a U like this, where you're going to go like this and then do that little kind of curly thing right there. All right. B's, P's, F's, R's. The way you do these is it's going to be like an elongating of the letter. I think they've got the standard here because people letter really small. Typically, we letter this size right here, this 1/8-inch size, and so they don't want any mistakes. So what they've done is they've kind of created this alphabet where they kind of elongate the letters a little bit, make them easier to look at when they're small. So the B's actually almost go like an E. They go straight, and then they go into their curve. Now you don't have to make them that way. When you make your B, you can just go straight, but just hit it straight, come out, and it should be, again, kind of elongated. And then, again, you like so. What you don't want to do is you don't want to go like this. Okay, like you've been doing probably all your life. All right, twos, they kind of come around almost like a question mark, and then straight. What we're not looking for is the like that. So no little loops right there. They don't duplicate well, so I think they've gotten rid of them for that reason. Some of these letters, I don't really think they made perfect decisions. For example, the I's and the 1's look exactly the same, which makes no sense to me, and the O's and the 0's look exactly the same, which makes no sense to me. But I didn't make the rules. I'm just giving them to you. 4's. I'm going to call these sailboat 4's. So 4's like this, and then it's kind of like so. Just put my hand out of the way there, like that. So it looks like so. What you don't want to do is don't make them like this. I know a lot of you have been doing that your whole life. So some of these other ones are pretty easy. L's, E's, N's, Y's, C's, D's. When you do a D, it's going to be straight, kind of like the P's and the B's. It's going to go straight and then go in, so it's elongated. What you don't want is this. So you're going to stretch that letter so there's a little straightness before it goes into the curve. Again, it's the elongating of the letter. 8's. 8's are snowman 8's, so circle and another circle, same size. What we're not looking for is a crazy 8 like that. 0's and O's, like I said, it makes no sense to me. If this were my system, I wouldn't have done 0's and O's the same way, but they look the same. Make your 0's and O's just as circles. What you don't want to do is don't do stuff like this and do like slashes or anything like that. That's actually a diameter symbol in our language, so yeah, don't do that. Sevens. Sevens, curve, a little bit of curve there. What you don't want to do on the sevens is put that little tick right there. So a lot of people do those. So T's, V's, W's. W's are the widest letter, so you can see they've given you a lot of room here. So it's got a big V and another big V. So it should be pretty wide. What you don't want to do is, make them short like so, which is pretty common, but don't do that. G's. G would be like a big C, big kind of curling C, like so. And then it goes straight up and there. What you don't want to do on the G's, a lot of people like to do these little kind of hooks like that right there. Don't do that. P's. Same thing with the F. Sorry, with the P's and the B, like we say in F. P's, B's, R's, they're going to be kind of straight. They go in like an F. Straight like an F, but then they go into that curve. Now, please don't make them like that where I just line, and curve, because it'll take you forever. What we don't want is this. Okay, stretch them out. Threes, easy. Sixes, nines and sixes, big curly, kind of almost like goes into like a G kind of thing there, and then big loop there. Nice big loop there. What you don't want to do is go like that. Nines, you can do these however you want. You can go backwards like this. Just keep that big loop right there. You can, some people like to do them like this, where they'll take the circle, make them a little bit bigger, and then they'll kind of loop them around. Just don't make them look like G's. So you go kind of like that, or don't make it a 9 like that. All right. And then what you're going to do is you're going to be making these letters using what are called guidelines. So in the industry, when you're doing hand lettering, they have a tool called the Guideline Template. It basically just lays out parallel lines so that your lettering is straight and the same height. So what I want you to do is use those guidelines all the way up, all the way down, using the proper Gothic lettering. Don't worry if it's not perfectly lined up. What I don't want you to do is to make your letters too small and too big and too small. Make sure that you're using the guidelines to control the heights of the lettering, and then using the proper Gothic lettering. And so you just replicate what they've done on all 3 lines here. And then it gets, frankly, a little easier. When you do the small lettering, I would use a 0.5 pencil on the small stuff. I would use a 0.7 on the bigger stuff because it's kind of big and you're going to break your lead a lot if you don't. Use your 0.5 pencil here. Otherwise, this can look too muddy. And then just come in and, so I'm doing these in red pen so it doesn't look perfect, but and then just use the Gothic lettering and all the way up, all the way down, best of your ability. Some of you have great handwriting and you're going to just fly through this, and some of you have kind of handwriting. You'll notice when I start grading your papers, I have pretty handwriting normally, so this actually really helps me. And it's the way they do it in the industry. So when I send you guys out there and you're doing projects and you're doing hand lettering, you're doing it the way they want it done before you walk in the door, which is really good. And then on the bottom, you're going to put your name. Just do your first name, last name, and period if you could. There should be plenty of room there. But take your time. Don't rush it. It's an easy assignment, but you don't want to go back and do it over again or have to erase and stuff like that. And then just put your period. Your period, whatever your period is, just put it over there off on the side. That'll be fine. So that way when I grade it, I know it's yours. So that is single stroke Gothic lettering. It's the industry standard. Everybody does it the same way. Engineers are really type A about that, very picky. And, if you walk in and if they see that you don't know how to do that when you walk in the door, it kind of shows your unprofessionalism. Like you haven't had a lot of experience. I'll expect all your sketches. When you're doing your sketches, you'll be doing these sketch borders, which I'm going to do one next year, and you'll be using your Gothic lettering on everything you do for me from now on. So you can have this thing off on the side. You'll give me a picture of this thing, and you'll have this for yourself. All right. So that is single stroke Gothic lettering.